Hey y'all, boy, it's been a flurry of activity around here on this Friday. Guess we made another week, haven't we? I did another round of course I get most of the eggs around noon, and made another pass out there. It's like we got a record-setting day. 3 more makes 25 for the day, so a little over 2 dozen, right? I put up an old handmade sign out there by the road. Confession to make, I did buy some stencils to make it. I set them on there. I'm like, that don't look right. I think I'll just handwrite it. Y'all remember them old signs that, well, I guess I have to reference what I know. Over at Brookshire Brothers back 15, 20 years ago, used to hand make them sale signs. And I was over the produce department, so Tuesday evenings and Wednesday mornings when the new ad hit, we'd have to take a bunch of poster board and a black marker and start making signs. So I was in there making that fresh eggs sign for sale, and kind of took me back a little bit to old South Street Brookshire Brothers, and that smell of marks a lot on the poster board. But shared that with a good friend of mine and a mentor and business manager. But there it is again. The smells take you back, I guess. But trying to sell some of these eggs, we're backing up in there. I think I'm selling 18 for a dozen. That's a bargain, ain't it? Got our first Easter egg, they call it, today. Of course, I bought a bunch of breeds last fall, lost a bunch under that hawk, but a few of them made it through, and got a blue egg this afternoon. No, not a robin egg. It was a chicken egg. It'll be normal inside, but I thought that was pretty cool. But we did some rearranging on the plants. Our potatoes are up. My good buddy Jonathan Dunn will be happy about that, but they broke ground with the sun coming out. Wasn't that nice today? I don't know if it was where y'all are at, but it sure was nice to see that old sunshine. But I knew that little temporary greenhouse wasn't going to hold long, and it wasn't really serving a purpose much, as we won't get much more freezing weather, maybe one more little snap. I can protect them. We've got everything germinated, so I just went straight East Texas and made my own little cover here. So you got to be short like me to be able to work underneath this thing. But the main threat at this stage of these seedlings' life is direct sun and getting burnt. So that's what the tarp is about. But that's a lot more stable than that other one. We've got plenty of seed starts coming on. That's all peppers, and those are tomatoes. I got to thin them out tomorrow. They got too many seeds in a packet there. But for you conservationist types, this is how you conserve. You use what you got, right? Just old broken terracotta pot, and we make it happen. So I got me I don't know that it's a greenhouse. I guess it's a blue shed, but it works just the same. Got some exciting news from folks that follow the washboard kind of roundabout way, and we connect. She stopped by just a moment ago on her way home. Turns out she lives right down the road here, and as most would think in a small town, we know a lot of the same folks and family. But she has got a rooster that needs a new home, so tomorrow we're gonna get us a rooster here on the place. And I asked her, did it have a name? And she said no, but its mother's name was Elvis, and it's no, his mother's name was Priscilla, excuse me, and his dad's name was Elvis. So it doesn't have a name because it came out without an afro, so it couldn't be Elvis Jr. So so we'll probably introduce the rooster tomorrow afternoon. We'll get him up here, and I think we'll just let y'all name him. I told her we'd let all y'all vote on it once we get him and y'all can see him. I hadn't seen him yet either, and we'll let her, since it was her rooster, she'll look at all your suggestions after you see him and pick out which name fits him. So I think these old hens are ready to have some crowing going on around here, maybe a little alarm along the way. But that sunshine, they liked it with those 25 eggs. I did have somebody stop by, my first customer on eggs, and of course I hooked him up. I got plenty. I guess he's going to be expecting 18 for that every time. May have to tell him that was an introductory special. But he wanted to buy some chickens. And good old boy from Lufkin. We had a little bit of language barrier. Thank goodness for Senora Hernandez back in 1987, teaching me a little Espanol, so we was able to get through that. But he wanted to buy some of these chickens. Well, I wasn't going to sell him any of my laying hens, y'all know that. And those white ones lay, but the amount of feed that they consume, y'all know my goal has been trying to move away from them. So I told him I'd let him have about 4 or 5 of them if he wanted them. And I took him around here to show him, and he stopped and he said, "Those are turkeys." I said, "No, those are chickens, brother." He said, "That's a big chicken." and they are. Well, here you go. Here's a good start contrast. Look at there. 2 white chickens. One that was bred on hormones and one that just grew naturally. So I guess you'd consider that what? You didn't have to go stand in that icky mud puddle and got fresh running water in there. Ain't that something? Little goofy thing. Well, I see we're going to have another cloudy sunset. I had a visitor was going to come by this evening, but this whole East Texas vacation kind of worn them out, and I can understand that. They've been running the roads and trying to see all that they can see as a native Texan and returning after a while. But my Aunt Pat is about 2 miles yonder way in a nice little bed and breakfast, and we went over there the other evening, I guess it was last night, and had some fresh purple whole peas and corn and mustard greens from this old place. Enjoyed it evening with them and sat on the porch and watched the sunset. Hadn't seen that in a while. And I noticed the clouds, just a few, as that sun was setting, how brilliant the colors were. You ever thought about that? Clouds and sunsets. You can let the sun set without clouds and it's pretty enough, but put a few clouds in the mix and man, it gets pretty quick, doesn't it? And that's true about our life as well. We need to remember that. Sometimes the clouds illuminate the color of joy when you come out of it. It takes all of it working together to make life happen. But so I'm thankful for the clouds today. And there's a lot of gray ones up there. Thankful for all of them because they all have a place. They bring us rain, and we see them as trouble most times, but they can sure make a pretty sunset, can't they? So I think I'm just going to appreciate that this evening. But she did promise that she's going to come by, and she's already been by to gather eggs a couple of times, and she's loving being back in her native East Texas and just taking in all the sights and sounds of spring and the green that we have. But been a good week. Packed weekend ahead, visiting with family, but trying to make most of this sunshine and nice weather. So I hope y'all get out and enjoy it as well and make some memories. Let's see who all's on here this evening, and we'll go from there. Let's see. Gotta go way back. All right, y'all sound off, and we'll call it an evening. There's Kathy. How are you, ma'am? Good to see you. Yeah, get that off my screen. There's Miss Joanne Smith. Another beautiful day. I wish we were close. Yeah? Well, I'd ship them if they'd ship, but I don't know that they would. Hey, Elaine, how are you? There's Ada. Snow is melting in Wisconsin. All right. Brenda's in sunny Arkansas. Looking forward to a nice weekend. I got grass growing out there where I've done plowed up, so I think enough sun was on it today that I'll be able to break the rest of it up. I got to get them rows made. Corn time to plant for that. About another, well, from now to the end of the month. Ready to get that first crop in. I might can make 3 rotations this year. You never know. We'll see how that works out. Let's see. There's Mr. Gene, Martinsville. How are you, buddy? Lean on this old fan here. Margaret says it's cool and windy, but the sun's been out. Yes'm. There's Barbara from Chibolo, Texas. I believe that's how we pronounce it. Mike out in California. Was it Mike or Phil the other day that said they made $1 million farming last year? Trouble was they started with $2 million. Yeah, that's about how it goes. I think selling those 4 white ones probably reduced my feed bill by half, much as those things eat. They don't know how to forage. They just sit there and wait for me to throw feed at them. Oh, and got a goofy sound cackle, I guess. That's what you get for drinking that old dirty water, goofball. Goodness. There's Bruce. Good to see you from Central Texas. LaShare is on. Patty, big old rooster's named Clyde. Hey, that's a good one up in Parker County. I might consider that, Raylyn. I sure might. There might be a small delivery and handling fee, but we might deliver eggs after all. I'm going to have to hire a semi. They keep laying 25 a day, though. Will you buy them in bulk? There's Deborah. How are you? Hadn't got him yet, Kathy, on the rooster, but he's a-coming. So he'll be making his grand entrance tomorrow. He better bring it, because these old hens are pretty set in their ways. You know how a woman can be when they get set in their ways. Or a dude, yeah, I know. But they'll probably snap him in line if he don't do right. They got their own little thing going on. There's Alicia. How are you, ma'am? And Alex, thank you, buddy. Over from across the pond. Appreciate you tuning in. There's Manuel. That hen thinks she's a hog. Crazy. Susan, how are you, from Oklahoma? There's John and Brenda. Yeah, we've been too busy working, I guess, John and Brenda, to get on here as much as I'd like. But spring is here, and I'll be rattling my gums along the way, I guess. There's Bill and Cooper, and I'm in short sleeves. Well, to be honest, when I first got back home, before I got out here and got to working, I had to put on a little light jacket. But it don't take long swinging a brush axe and moving around, feeding and planting. You got to get that jacket off pretty quick. So that's where I'm at now. Let's see. Carolyn, tell us about the bed and breakfast. I will tell you in just a second. That's a good call out. Hope it had cornbread. We actually did. We actually did have cornbread with those veggies. Sure did. Hey, Trudy, how are you? And Deborah. Let's see. There's Carrie, Don, and good Lord, I should know how to pronounce this. Muskegon, Michigan. That's what we're going with. How's that, Don? Joyce, how are you? There's Melinda. Good to see you. And Susan. And Susan again. Cut the front yard today. And we are having good weather, Alex. Hey, Bobby. Good to see you. All right, Carolyn, in answer to your question on the bed and breakfast, I'm telling you what. I don't, let's see, they get it on Vibo. I don't know all those sites. Is that right? One of them starts with a V. It's an Airbnb. But the lady that owns it has a ranch fairly near it, but you're secluded in a cabin about, it's just a stone's throw off the main road. So you're not out in the boonies, but you sure feel like it, and that's a good thing. The decor is phenomenal. The porch faces, it looks like a little 2 or 3 bedroom little cabin, first class. It's named Clara's Cabin. And I picked up on the theme pretty quick, as it should be in Texas. There's 2 big old dogs on the place, friendly as all get out, lovable dogs, named Gus and Clara. For those of you that know much about Texas and Texas entertainment history, and that might come to mind a certain miniseries that was probably it is arguably the best miniseries of all time, Lonesome Dove. So the whole thing is crafted after that. And I mean, it's stock full with beauty and open window theme, and just loved it. Made me want to go over there and spend the evening instead of over here. But got a pretty good thing going here. So maybe a little simpler, but it's still home in Texas. And come to think of it, my porch faces west too. So mine's got a lot of memories in it. So that's even better, isn't it? But no, Clara's Cabin is the name of it. I met the lady that owned it, or that owns it. Just a first-class little Airbnb there. So if y'all come to Nacogdoches, you might check into that. It's fully stocked and really nice. Imagine we'll be spending another couple evenings over there this week. But we'll look forward to my Aunt Pat coming by and wandering around here. She's scared of snakes, but that is not anything she needs to worry about at this time of the year, because they're just not moving around. That's a good thing. But hope y'all have a great weekend, and encourage somebody and be the light. Get out there and enjoy this beautiful weather, and be thankful for the clouds. They enhance the beauty of sunsets a whole lot of times. Y'all have a good weekend. Get ready for the rooster tomorrow. We'll be back on then and try to figure out what we're going to name that old rascal. Be the light. Y'all have a good evening.